There is some new information coming to light that has to do with the DTCC as well as XRP. We're going to get in and talk about this. We're also going to talk about what's going on with Ripple trying to buy Circle. I did a live stream yesterday. We talked about this for about an hour. So there's a lot of really good information in this. We're also going to look at this new document. Everyone's posting this. It's talking about the Trump administration and XRP. We're also going to read through that with you guys. So Digital Perspectives, Brad Kimes posted this. Breaking XRP DRs created to help the DTCC settle $2 quadrillion every year. Lock in. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to take this, image. I wanted to put it into Perplexity and really better understand what all of this could mean for you and me. And so here we go. The key takeaways from all of this text here: XRP DRs, which are depository receipts, are the RDC's latest product. These depository receipts are designed to be eligible for the Depository Trust Clearing Corporation, which is also known as the DTCC, meaning they can be traded and cleared like traditional securities. So these will also have value that can be traded on open markets. The depository receipts provide a way for investors to own digital and alternative assets such as XRP in the regulated familiar format. RDC's team has extensive experience in creating and managing depository receipts and institutional market structures, having worked with major global banks. And it says, what does this mean for XRP? XRP depository receipts make it possible for institutional investors to gain exposure to XRP through traditional financial channels rather than directly holding the cryptocurrency. This can attract more conservative and regulated investors who require DTCC eligible securities. So not everybody is as adventurous as you. They're not wanting to spend the time to better understand self-custody wallets, right? Transferring the crypto and holding it yourself. They would rather go through their brokerage accounts of whatever kind to buy these types of financial products. And that's going to allow more people globally, especially in the United States, to be able to acquire some of these depository receipts that can be used on the XRP ledger, which will have value. Bringing digital and traditional finance by offering XRP as a DTCC eligible security. RDC is helping to bridge the gap between blockchain-based assets and the conventional financial system. This could lead to increased adoption of XRP in mainstream finance. Talks about enhanced credibility and liquidity. So let's better understand this. Being a part of DTCC eligible product can enhance XRP's credibility and potentially increase its liquidity as more investors and institutions may be willing to participate. So as it becomes more mainstream, more well-known, more used every day, people will trust it more and more and use it more and more. It's kind of like a flywheel effect. As more people come on and start using it, the product has a higher demand, which brings, price and everything full circle. Talks about innovation and financial products. The launch of XRP DRs is part of a broader trend of financial innovation where digital assets are being packaged in ways that fit into existing regulatory and institutional frameworks. So for now, while you're waiting on regulatory framework from Congress, they have to play within the rules. And they, institutions are looking for new products that they can roll out that play within these confines. And that's what this is. And I wanted to better understand, could this impact the price of XRP over time? Because I think that's mainly the question we have. Cool, this is great to see these depository receipts, but most of us what the hell is a depository receipt? And is it going to be impactful for me? That's what a lot of people care about. So let's better understand that. So it does talk about the launch of XRP depository receipts, yada, 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 have significant impact on the price of XRP over time. Primary due to increased institutional access and demand. It talks about XRP DRs are designed to be DTCC eligible securities, making it much easier for institutional investors to gain exposure to XRP through regulated, familiar financial products without directly holding the cryptocurrency. This opens the door for pension funds, mutual funds, and other large investors who are often restricted for buying crypto. So think about how much money, if you work for a company, usually your company, depending on what your job and your title is, will offer you some type of benefits right? Because they want to keep you there. They like you. You're doing a good job. You're making the company money. They are going to give you additional benefits on top of your pay, right? To keep you happy. And so a lot of people, have 401ks and other ways to save. And this is a way to invest some of those funds into, these type of financial products, which could bring even more value into the crypto market and inherently make all of these assets more expensive, more valuable, right? Okay. Restricted from buying crypto directly, potentially increasing the demand for XRP. Positive market reaction. The announcement of XRP DRs has already led to short-term price increases, with XRP rising nearly 4% in the days following the news, signaling that the market views this development as bullish. It could have been that or 100 other things, right? Analysts note institutional investors often leads to greater liquidity and price stability, which can attract even more investment. Talks about long-term price predictions. Many analysts are bullish on XRP, yada, 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 $5 to $20 in 2025. And so we'll see how all of this shakes out. But I wanted to better understand this. It's also cool to note that you are starting to see other people like Charlie Ward. Is this really Charlie Ward's? Probably not. It's probably a fake account. But DCCC just announced on their live call the demonstration that will tokenize the US stock market. So we know that this is what they've been trying to do. Also, working with the DTCC and having XRP possibly providing liquidity for the settlement of those assets. It talks about to provide liquidity for 10% of DTCC's estimated annual transaction volume of so this is 2 quadrillion. 2,000 trillion is 2 quadrillion, i.e. 200 trillion. Okay, so hold on. It is 2 quadrillion, but it's 10%, which is 200 trillion. All right, we're good. I was like, what? Okay. With a liquidity pool 1.5 times the transaction volume and circulating supply of 56 billion, the price of XRP would need to be approximately $5,357 per XRP. This theoretical estimate and assumes ideal conditions, actual market dynamics, adoption rates, and liquidity requirements could significantly alter this figure. So, any other type of market dynamics could make this even higher or make this even lower, depending on. For more information on XRP's price and yada, yada, yada. And then this is the overall explanation. If you want to take a look, I think this person copied this maybe out of ChatGPT, but here's all of that information if you're looking for it. So, what I find interesting here, this is like one big ass use case, right? But this is not everything. This is just one area that is being pursued using XRP. I would imagine the DTCC is going to use, HBAR and several other assets, Ethereum and a few others. We did talk about this on stream yesterday, but I also think that, if you're using XRP for this, or you're using XRP for the bond market, if you're using, XRP to liquefy any other type of markets, especially spot ETFs or other ETPs or ETFs, those are all going to have their own impact on where the price goes. And, if XRP really is, let's say, used for 10% or 20% of FX payments or something like that, that could have impact all by itself, right? So we don't need all of this to become wealthy over time. But if we get one or two of these things that were to happen, I mean, $1,000 XRP would retire most people that show up to my chats every single day. And I think that's what people are looking for, right? They understand that this market is now about 3 trillion. Over the next 10 years, it'll grow to 100 trillion or 200 trillion. There's so much profit ahead. It's going to be hard not to make money in this market if you can make the right decisions, right? It all comes down to what are you investing in. So make sure that you are talking with somebody that understands the crypto market and can give you a good advice when you are getting into this stuff. So I wanted to discuss Coinbase and this whole thing with Coinbase and Ripple and Circle. If Coinbase really wanted to buy Circle, I think they would have done it already. I think Ripple eventually will get through with their offers. And I think I think this is what a lot of Bitcoin maximalists are worried about. Ripple becoming Ripple's already one of the biggest blockchain infrastructure companies in the world. If they were to take over Circle, you have like two of the biggest networks and infrastructure in the crypto market, right? The XRP ledger and of course USDC network, which has I think it was 104 chains. The last time I looked at it, over $60 billion in liquidity across those 104 chains. Overnight, this could make XRP, Ripple, and everything else a powerhouse. And I think that is what people are really scared at, right? You know, people that own a lot of Bitcoin are financially invested in Bitcoin doing well. And if something is going to challenge that, right? If there's another asset class, the cryptocurrency, right? If anybody challenges that, they will go to the mats. They will go to war. And that's what you're seeing, I think, here with Senator Loomis snubbing Brad Garlinghouse. Because, like, you can't say, you know, I've seen some people mention that because Ripple was working on central bank digital currency technology, that's why Senator Loomis won't meet with them. But, like, are you really going to hold this over a company for trying to pursue this incredible market, you know, the crypto market, even when, you know, the government and other people were telling them, you know, we're going to sue you into the ground. We're going to stop you. You're not going to be able to do this. They had to get through all of that. Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, all of these people had to get through all of that garbage to now have this person, you know, basically be the yes or no. Doesn't sit right with me, man. Doesn't sit right with me. And I don't think it'll sit right with a lot of voters. And so I think Senator Loomis has a chance here to appeal to the masses. You know, there are millions of XRP holders, and there's a lot of people in the United States that hold XRP. And I imagine there's a lot of people in Wyoming that hold XRP. And if she's going to do this to Ripple, right, and Brad Garlinghouse, who else is next, right? She is the head of the digital assets subcommittee here. If she doesn't want to meet you, does the buck stop with her? Can you go to the president? And what is she telling the president about Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple? I think there's a lot more to be said here, and we're going to talk about it as this day goes on. All right. I'm so happy to be working with Apex.Exchange. Guys, listen, 2017, they were created. No KYC requirements. Yes, you can use them in the United States. They are a super powered DEX, $62.7 billion in total trading volume. They've almost done 90 million trades. Open interest of 17.42 million. Here is the UI. Tons of really great information at your fingertips so you can be the star trader that you are meant to be. Embark on your decentralized trading journey. If you're trading any of these high ticket cryptocurrencies, or if you're looking to trade some newer type meme coins or other AI agents, they've got you covered. Seamless multi-chain trading with low fees. They have a full suite of trading products for you as well. You can maximize your returns by only paying, and so makers 0.002, takers 0.005. You also have some incredible 24-hour volume. Look at this, $355 million. I have been working with Apex Exchange now for several weeks. There's up to $30,000 that you can get today in deposit, welcome earnings, and cash. Apex always has some really cool additional things that you can earn. You got to sign up, you got to deposit and earn, and you can refer friends just like I am doing here. Yes, you can trade XRP, spot, or futures. It is one of the cleanest DEXs that I have seen. I'm really excited to be working with them, guys. Link down in the description. Support me today by taking a look at Apex. I really appreciate it. See you out there. Aloha. So we understand that banks can quickly plug and play, upgrade their systems with blockchain. Ripple, the quickest Ripple's been able to get in and work with a bank has been about 3 weeks. Normally this takes about 3 months though, depending on the complexity of what the bank is trying to solve. Connecting a DLT-based contract execution system or multiple DLT systems to the existing banking infrastructure could be implemented quickly and efficiently, relying on existing technology. Also, the first Bridge Solutions entered test mode in 2021 and are expected to enter the market soon. Bridge Solutions using DLT have been in test mode. We did, okay. 2 documents below talk about Ripple is currently being used in test mode by 100 major financial institutions. I think the number is far exceeding that at this point. I mean, 300 financial institutions is what Hidden Road was working with, right? So Ripple automatically takes over those customers. The cool thing about that is Ripple's team could reach out to each one of those customers and say, hey, you know, we know that you are, you know, your volume of what you're trying to do and the value that you're trying to use in the system is increasing, we can offer, cross-border payments, FX, we can offer stablecoins technology, we can offer private ledgers, whatever it is that you need, we have it, right? Crypto custody, we can give you all of that. And I think that's going to allow Ripple to even sign even more deals. It says payments triggered by a bridge solution and processed via the legacy banking system are easily scalable within the existing infrastructure. Swift also enables a certain level of worldwide interoperability of payment messages and services. It does say down here, connecting a DLT-based contract execution system to the existing banking infrastructure could be implemented quickly, efficiently, relying on existing technology, right? So it's all ready to go. It's all ready to plug and play. You really just need, Congress, or you need, they need a real green light, right? They need to know what is okay and what's not okay. And I think that is coming, especially with the Genius Act now being pushed forward. You got bipartisan support. I think we can really knock this out of the park. Crypto regulation is going to be in the next few months, and this could just be incredible. Like, this could be an electric run, guys. This run could be bigger than 2021. It will be bigger than 2021. And man, I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for this. I'm so excited. If you want to, come and ask questions and talk, there's a few things that you can do. Like, if you want direct access to me, during the daytime, you can join Kryptonaires. There's a link down in the description. Join Kryptonaires. And I think it's like $50 a month. And we have 7-day free trial, and you can talk with, regular people from all around the world that are looking at getting into different crypto projects, new utility, whatever it is, DeFi, ways to make money in crypto. We're talking about it inside of Kryptonaires. Or you can show up to live streams on Tuesdays and Fridays and ask questions, and I will do my best. Yesterday, I answered questions for about an hour and 45 minutes total, and I did news for about an hour. So we had a lot of really good conversations. But here is a new document floating around. Pave the way for XRP to continue to increase in value. So everyone is saying, I see everybody posting the same freaking thing. Boom. A new document reveals that the Trump administration has paved the way for XRP. And so I'm like, where is this document from? Nobody is posting the source link of this document. And so like I was looking at this, and so the highlighted portion, so it says securing the rights of crypto creditors, volume 99/1/225. It says launch. Many codes were already discovered quickly available to use. Only 6 months ago, XRP was a 7 top 10 cryptocurrency. However, the change in the U.S. administration paved the way for XRP to continue to increase in value, replacing the SEC chair Gary Gensler in a big deal because a lawsuit between Ripple and the company behind the XRP token, the SEC, continues to drag on for 4 years. This really doesn't say shit. Excuse my French. I don't know why people are freaking out about this. Like, this is some kind of like fantastic new document, right? I don't know. Like, I've seen everybody and their mother post this. Like, here, watch this. Like, everybody rips off the same thing. Like, everybody was posting this earlier. I couldn't get through this. You're like, here you go. There you go. New person, new person, new person, right? Just kind of gets boring. It just kind of gets boring. All right. XRP trading platforms ranked by volume. You have Coinbase, Kraken.com, Coinbase, Crypto.com, Kraken, LMAX Digital. Never even heard of LMAX Digital. And of course, Bitstamp. I mean, look at these XRP volumes on Coinbase. Insane. Market share is 49%, 25% for Crypto.com, and 9% for Kraken. That is a huge, huge, huge amount of volume being traded for XRP. And then also strong market demand for new products, volatility shares, XRP futures. Here it's launching the first time ever XRP futures tomorrow. The ticker is XRPL or XRPI. Yes, there's 2x XRP already on the market. This is a first 1x of its kind, and it has $120 million in trades and 35 million a day. Good signal that there's a demand for this one. So love to see that. We're also, I just wanted to mention, there are countries like South Korea that are implementing more stricter KYC requirements for crypto. If you want to bring the next billion people into crypto, there's obviously reporting and all of this stuff is going to need to happen. It is kind of like a double-edged sword because, you are sacrificing some of your personal data in order to be, to be a part of this system. But I guess the goal here is to become extremely rich, and then you really don't have to worry about being in anybody's system. And I think that's what a lot of people are trying to do and have done successfully. All right. I'll see you next time, guys. If you got value, please hit like, please share. I'll see you next time. Bye.